Bluff City Media presents The Anthony Sain Show with your host, Anthony Sain. Now, let's get to the show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Anthony Sain Show. This is, of course, your host, Anthony Sain, here with my guy, man, Kenny Stubblefield in the building. Kenny, what's going on, my guy?
Man, it's a beautiful day here in Memphis. It's hot as hell, but it's good.
Man,
it's a
I
good
feel
day.
you, bro. Shout out to Julia, man. She be giving me the Kenny Stubblefield sexy cut t-shirts. I don't even notice I've been wearing the regular t-shirt with the, tight around the arms.
Yeah.
Loose in the stomach.
Little loose in the stomach.
Yeah.
Little loose in the stomach.
Yeah, man, she been getting me right, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Your boy looking OG, man. You know what I'm saying?
You're feeling pretty good. You got the F-boy
Cut
fade.
the braids, all the
F-boy
fade. Yeah, all that, man. I'm feeling good, man. It was a good show today. Playing. I got a good friend of mine, man. Legendary guy in the media world, man. One of the true OGs. Kenny, everybody nowadays want to be a news aggregator, right? Everybody want to be a news aggregator, or
right,
or insider, or a rumor mill guy. There's a lot of guys that just get into their lane. I ain't gonna name no names, but there's a lot of guys trying to be the news aggregator guy who also got some little quasi connections. Well, everybody want to get in their lane, bro. But there's a dude who's been doing that, man, as long as I've been on Twitter, for sure. One of the OGs in the game. My guy, Sam Amico, joins us today. He joins us now. Sam Amico, my guy, what's going on, bro?
Not much. I'm glad that I'm an OG because that's one short way of saying OLD, right? It's been around a long time.
It's crazy, man, because Sam will say stuff on Twitter, man, and in the lane that Sam's in, where you're a guy who's, constantly got either guys in your ear, you're in other guys' ears, and you're hearing information. We talk about the fluidity information, how sometimes a guy can say, hey, A has been talking to B. Then people say, okay, well, that must mean C's about to happen. No, man, it just means exactly what I said.
A and B.
Is talking to B.
Right.
Don't put me on the hook for C, right? So you're one of the guys that gets a lot of bullshit on Twitter or whatever when it comes down to that. And I'll come in like, nah, bro, y'all got my good. This is my guy Sam. Like, you might say something that might be Grizzly related. It's man, you can't take him serious. I said, nah, bro, this is my dog. And I know people be like, why does Sain care about this old ass white man? Like, why is this your dog? Long story short, I've been seeing you on Twitter doing your thing. You used to have Amico Hoops where I'm telling you, bro, all the stuff y'all see today, my guy Amico was on this shit 10 years ago, bro. All the fan sites and all that type of, all the team accounts and all that. Right. My man was on there way before it was a thing. Sam Amico in the building. And like I said, I really got to know you when I was doing my time at Sports Illustrated, when I was writing for them. I met you then. You took me under your wing, man. I could give him a call anytime. I can't call the brother phone. I might be calling him all the time. He don't answer.
You too busy now?
Busy man. This is my guy, though, bro, for real. I really respect the man's grind. And when I took my hiatus, being done with all this, it was seeing you still grinding that made one of the guys maybe want to get back into this for sure. But I'm glad you able to join the show.
I have a question for Sam. I know before we get into all the talk you want to get into, Sam, I've covered college basketball, specifically Memphis Tigers basketball, for the last 7-8 years. Been around in these different circles where these guys they call themselves insiders, right? Or it's inside information on recruiting, on scheduling, on anything like that. Mm-hmm. Have you found that, one of the things that I found in college basketball insider work is that it is when you are a respected name in it and you say something has happened, when it doesn't happen, do you get the same amount of hate that on your side as we do on the college basketball side? Like, you said this was going to happen and it didn't happen. Does that happen for you a lot?
Oh, yeah. And the interesting thing about it, to be honest with you, is a lot of times, as Anthony just said, we aggregate most of our content. We have some original stuff, some reporting, but the majority of our stuff is aggregation.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we're taking someone else's report and putting it out there. We're just trying to provide basketball information, NBA information for the masses, and we'll take flack for somebody else's report. So it just comes with it. It was probably 3 or 4 years ago. I told myself, you know what, I'm just not going to read my notifications unless there's somebody from like Sain or somebody that I follow.
Yeah.
That's different. But otherwise, it would just put me in a bad mood for 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, I
really
bet.
bad mood. And I just thought it's not worth it. So yeah, there's certainly that element of it out there. Guys, and one thing I would stress to you too is the people who really like you and appreciate what you do,
Mm-hmm.
they generally don't say anything, right?
Exactly, bro. Yeah. I was
I
just about
mean,
to go there. Go ahead.
it's just the quote unquote haters that are going to come
Loud.
out and say stuff, that are angry, that are
Mm-hmm.
aggravated, and it's often because something else is bugging them in life. It's not
Mm-hmm.
because of something
Yeah.
you're reporting about the
True.
NBA or
Mm-hmm.
college basketball. So I just look at it like, our job is to try to provide NBA information for fans as best we can, and continue obviously to be blessed enough to make a living at it, as I've been for. I used to cover the Cavaliers full time for Fox
Yeah.
Sports and cover the NBA for Fox Sports as a full time job, and I'd write one story a day, and was still
Mm-hmm.
getting a direct deposit every Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So
Facts.
now it's, not only am I writing, I have Ashish Mathur who's also writing for us, but I'm also managing a business and making sure that we're able to get paid and all that. So I think, and even somebody who's as well off and as big in this game as somebody like Stephen A. Smith, who gets a lot of hate. Look, I mean, he's laughing all the way to the bank, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's somebody willing to pay him for the information and opinions he provides.
Right.
So that's kind of the way I look at my own job is, yeah, the hate's going to be out there, and the people who are hateful are going to be the loudest voices. That's just something I've learned over time. So,
Nah, man.
you know
For sure.
what? You just keep pushing on, because there are a lot of people out there clearly who appreciate what you do. They just don't say anything. There's no need to, simply just continuously praise people over and over.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's not the world we live in. So,
Yep.
to answer your question, Kenny, long answer is yes. I think anybody in this industry, whether you're an athlete, a reporter, hosting a podcast, most of the time you're going to hear from the people who are angry about what you're writing for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Do you have a filter that you, as a content aggregator, do you have a filter in which you kind of like filter content through to make sure it passes the smell test for you?
Well, we're fairly particular about who we aggregate, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
We have a certain list that we kind of stick to. If we see a report that seems legitimate that comes from outside of that list, say it's a report from, somebody who's not well established, we're not going to hold that against them if they're not well established, if we believe that that's a possibility of being true, if it's something we hear. So, yeah, we do have a list of, the Shams Sharinas of the world, that we kind of stick to in terms of these guys are legitimate sources. And we also, we don't, I try not to judge anybody, but we also know, okay, this guy isn't right very often. So we need to be careful about
Yeah.
using his stuff. So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, we do have a filter, but we expand it to the point where we try not to judge anybody, but we'd like you to have a history of nailing some things and getting them right before we kind of
Yeah.
put you into the aggregation flow that we use.
You said the key word too, man. Like something that I definitely have struggled with and still do struggle with at times. It's just like, that there's so many people that really rock with you big time, but you put energy into one goofball or two or three people who are doing whatever, instead of understanding this person is 1 out of 1,000 or 1 out of 10,000. You know what I mean? And they're definitely outnumbered, but it's human nature. Sometimes you put too much energy into somebody who's literally nobody. But let's go to, you talked about you covering the Cleveland Cavaliers. You are a news aggregator, but you know your stuff. You are connected as well. Like you said, several years covering the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I tell people, if you see Sam saying something and it's anywhere related, anything that's related to Cleveland, he knows what he's talking about. Like, these are people that you talk to yourself. So don't play that type of game with you at all. But let's talk Cleveland Cavaliers for a minute. Team that has some question marks over the offseason and has made, some moves on the offseason as well. The biggest question I have about Cleveland is this. One summer you may hear, the two bigs thing isn't working. You can't have Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, right? Then one summer it's okay. The two small like non-defending guards with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, that's not working. Then one summer, is Donovan Mitchell wants out. You know what I mean? What is the deal in Cleveland, and what do you think makes this team the best version of themselves? Do you think the two small guards can work? Do you think the two bigs can work? How do they make that mesh? What do you think the best direction is for Cleveland?
Yeah, Anthony, we probably hear that if the Cavs won the championship about Allen and Mobley and Garland and Mitchell. Last year they were 64-18, right? Didn't get it done in the playoffs. Which, excuse me, Donovan Mitchell. To this point in his career, whether it's the Jazz or the Cavs, that's kind of been the big monkey on his back. Is he's not the guy to take you to the next level. When in reality, I look at the Cavs. To me, number one, to answer your question, yeah, I think it can work. Especially, I think this season, just my own speculation is that potentially DeAndre Hunter, who they picked up at the trade deadline, will start at small forward. That gives you additional size. So I think if you start, and even if Hunter doesn't start, he's going to play a lot of minutes. So that still gives you Mobley, Allen, and DeAndre Hunter, who's 6'9" in the front court, as opposed to, say, Max Strus, who's like 6'4", with Garland and Mitchell. I think you can win with those lineups. I think the Cavs just, frankly, and I would have said this about the Grizzlies a couple years ago and would still say it again today, you have to give your program time. Yeah. You get one team wins a championship every year. Nobody saw the Indiana Pacers doing what they were going to do. I think that the window in both conferences is wide open. So, there's no one way. If there's one thing we've learned about the NBA over the last 7 years, which is the first time in history we've had 7 different champions every year.
Yeah.
I think that the one thing we've learned is there's no one right way to win a title. There are multiple ways, multiple factors. The Oklahoma City Thunder this year did it with some outstanding defense and a guy in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander who doesn't really take many threes. That's not his game. When, before that, you look at a team like the Golden State Warriors or even Boston. The Celtics. Right. These teams are taking tons and tons of threes and winning that way. Well, the Thunder changed that. The Indiana Pacers got to the finals, and the three-point game was not their priority while they were good at it. So I think that when you talk about the Cavs, I think it's a matter of this lineup showed it can work in the regular season. How do they transfer that to the postseason? Right. And I think that that's something that they deserve a little bit more time to figure out, and they're taking more time to try to figure that
out. You guys had Ty Jerome on your team last year, and he's a guy that the Grizzlies signed. I'm still wondering how we pulled it off. I'm not going to ask too many questions because they may change their mind. But with that being said, what should Grizzly fans expect from Ty Jerome? I'm asking a guy who's, covered him for years, been close to him in the city. What should we expect from him on and off the court?
Well, I can tell you, being around Ty Jerome from a media standpoint, because, not only am I aggregating like crazy, I'm going up to these Cavs games not to just cover the Cavs, but to get stuff on other teams. Ty Jerome was the one guy in the NBA that you could, other than, and LeBron James is probably another, but Ty Jerome is the one guy who is going to talk to the media after every game. And he will give you some strong opinions about the game as well. As far as the player, obviously not real quick, but I mean, what we saw from him last season is he's going to play with an edge. He's going to keep the ball moving. He surprises defenders a lot because he kind of has Dean Wade, who also plays for the Cavs, who's also incredibly slow, said Ty Jerome's got the meanest slow step in the game. And that's very true. I mean, he moves so methodically with the basketball that I think it fools defenders. It's like, well, where's he going with this? Right. And he's a guy who forces nothing and still manages to, he can erupt for 20 plus points. So he's a big guard. I think he's going to be wonderful behind Morant there. Perfect fit. He found the perfect fit for himself. And a guy who can, when he gets hot from the outside, people tend to leave him open a lot because you're double teaming the stars. he's going to knock it down. So, not a great defender, but a good keeps the ball moving, doesn't force things, yet manages to contribute. Some games you'll look up and you'll say, "Wow, Ty Jerome scored 18." Didn't really realize he was out there, but. Obviously, it was a 1-year thing in Cleveland. Before that, leading up to Cleveland, nobody knew what they were getting in him.
Yeah.
And that's why he was there on a minimum deal, but really had a breakout season. Struggled against Indiana mightily in the playoffs, was just struggling with his shot. Look, to me, the guy's a winner. He comes with an edge. He does not, this isn't some meek guy in the background. He's going to bring it every night, and he does a lot of chirping, and he's going to add a little bit of edginess to that reserve unit there in Memphis.
And
Anthony,
I know you talked.
Did you grow up playing baseball, Anthony?
No, not at all.
Did you ever? Have you ever?
I played like in summer camp and stuff. Yeah, I didn't play for no teams. No.
I played baseball growing up, and there was always these guys that would come in and they would throw these pitches. They're called knuckleballs, right? Where they would throw them and they throw them slow, but this thing is just dancing around like crazy, and it's coming. And a batter's looking at it like, man, I'm about to blast off on this, and they look like a fool swinging at it. What it sounds like to me, what you're saying is that Ty Jerome's first step is like a knuckleball. Like, it shouldn't be effective because it's super slow and but it's super effective because it just is different from what everybody else does, and he's very efficient with it. Is that what you're saying about him?
That's a great analogy. His whole game is a knuckleball. I mean, you watch him play, and it's kind of, slow, methodical, and guys are swinging at it and can't get it. So I've seen him drive to the basket repeatedly. And my kids, I have 3 boys, they all play basketball, and I'm like, watch him, because that's who you guys are built like. I mean, that's your athleticism. And honestly, they have found, just watching him, little things to take away from his game. So I think he truly is that kind of player where it's, you look at him and it's like, oh, I'm gonna eat this guy alive. And he finds a way to get it done. So I think part of that is his attitude and his approach. After every game, people would talk to him like, did you ever see this coming in yourself? And he's like, yeah, this is just the first place that gave me an opportunity to show what I can do in Cleveland. And he's certainly going to get a lot of opportunity, I presume, in Memphis as well.
Do you I know you talked about him being a backup to John Morant. I think the team's goal is to kind of use him sharing the backcourt with Scottie Pippen Jr., who's he's got the size of a point guard, but he's much more of a shooting guard as far as his scoring ability and his ability to defend. So with that being said, could you see him being able to share the backcourt with the guard who may be on the ball even more than him when Ja isn't in the game?
Yeah, without question. Ty can play off the ball. He's impactful that way. In today's NBA, and a GM told me this, I can't remember who it was, but it was a couple years ago, saying, it's almost to the point where shooting guard is almost obsolete. That position is now more like small forward, whereas when you're running guards out there, you almost run out, 2 point guards, not from the start, but a lot of the game. So I could see Morant and Jerome and Pippen Jr. and Jerome, Morant and Pippen, all of those guys sharing time and being as impactful. Now you have 2 guys who are running the same set and capable of doing it instead of just one, kind of the old school way where you only had one ball handler on the floor. Now you can have 2, 3 at the same time. That'll benefit you.
I know you said when you go to Cavs games that you go to the Cavs games and you also go to get information about other teams as well. What are some of the things that you've heard in the past concerning the Grizzlies? And is there any news that you're sitting on, any type of nugget you may be able to drop as far as the Memphis Grizzlies are concerned now? Hey, everybody, come on, man. I got to hear what you got to say, man.
I think, the vibe around the league, at least last season, and even as right up till they fired Taylor Jenkins, which obviously was the first stunner in a coaching move of the year. The vibe is that they're right there, and they're kind of the forgotten team out west.
They are.
Right? When you talk about the Thunder, The Lakers are going to get all the love all the time, no matter what happens, especially with LeBron James there. The Rockets just got Durant. The Suns just traded Durant. So Memphis kind of quietly goes about its business, but the one vibe was let's see what they can do to improve their depth. I think they've done that this year. They have two surefire stars in Morant and Jackson Jr. And it's one of these things that, look, last year the Cleveland Cavaliers going into the season, everybody's had them pegged for 5th or 6th in the Eastern Conference, right? This year, different story, going to be pegged probably for 1st, especially with all the injuries to the Pacers. I think the Grizzlies are a similar type of team to the Cavs, whereas low expectations, I shouldn't say low, but not lofty, but yet they're very capable, and that's everything I'm getting from opposing teams is, at least during the season, what I heard was on the Grizzlies was, yeah, they're right there. They just got to come together. You come together, you stay healthy, which obviously was beneficial to them second half of last season. Finally, anything is possible with them. It really is. They're right there. So there's so much in the West that I think is so even with, obviously I didn't even mention the Denver Nuggets, Minnesota Timberwolves, who have been to back-to-back West Finals. There's just the Clippers. Who knows what's going to become of them? So, I mean, you're talking 6, 7, 8 teams deep. How do you get through that?
Yeah.
It's a grind. And that, obviously, I didn't even try to tie that to Grind City, but that's just came out that way.
You mentioned LeBron in LA earlier. There's been a lot of talk about they maybe want to part ways. I know you're a Cleveland guy. I know you got, LeBron has roots and boots on the ground and Cleveland. Is there anything, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's just talk, or it could be a part of ways between LeBron and the Lakers?
I'm usually not one to buy some of the rumors and speculation that's that over the top. I mean, LeBron leaving LA, come on. I do think there's a little something to it, only because the national insiders have been so, guys like Brian Windhurst, a few others, Chris Haynes, these guys are all kind of putting it out there that something there. I don't think a return to the Cavs would be in the works. I just don't see any way that would be possible. I think the Cavs' interest at this point is probably minimal, and that's not a slight at LeBron as much as it is. If you're the Cavs, you're thinking, we like what we have going forward. Add a player like LeBron James, you're really shaking things up, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you're starting fresh with a guy who's going to be 41 years old by the start of the new year. So I think it's a long shot that LeBron's anywhere but the Lakers this season. But I think that it's a possibility, a small possibility that, maybe there's something there that the Lakers front office and LeBron James, we saw the statement by Rich Paul, which I thought was a little peculiar. Maybe there's something there. I can't envision where he would go next or want to go next, other than, we always hear the Warriors rumors year after year with his relationship with Steph Curry, Draymond Green, also a Rich Paul client. We've heard that talk. Again, I think it's a long shot. I've seen rumors of Dallas. I just don't foresee that happening. The place where LeBron is now in his career, while still an impactful player, the bottom line is you're mortgaging a lot for a guy who's going to be 41. Still very productive. I would say still top 10 player, but you're mortgaging a lot to get him.
Yeah.
A lot of things have to happen. You have to mortgage a lot to get him. You have to surrender your entire future. It's like it's got to be this year or next, right? If you're getting LeBron James to win a championship, not to just be good, but to win a championship. And you've got to get LeBron to buy into the trade because he's got a no trade clause. So I just think too many things have to happen. That said, guys, this is the NBA.
Right.
Luka Doncic got traded,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it should be happening. Bro. Yeah.
I mean, crazy things happen all the year. Every year, at least 2 or 3 times a year. I mean, Taylor Jenkins getting fired 3 weeks before the playoffs. That was like light news in today's NBA because Michael Malone and the GM Calvin Booth of the Nuggets were fired like a week later. So it's just, it's hard to predict, but just a gut feeling is based on everything LeBron opting in, what other teams would have to surrender, LeBron's age, all of those things I think would make it very difficult for him to play anywhere but Los Angeles this season.
Sam, what would if there was one thing you could change about today's NBA? You've covered the league for a long time. I'm not trying to keep reminding people of your age, but you've covered the team. You covered the league for a long time, man. And that you've also transitioned with different type of journalism over time and all these type of things. And like I said, you've been ahead of the game with a lot of stuff. You were doing aggregating and team sites 15 years ago. You know what I mean? But as in your time watching the league, what's something that you would change about today's NBA to possibly make it better?
For a long time, I thought the 3-pointers were out of control a little bit. I can tell you this, though. So that would probably be the first thing that comes to mind. But last season, I enjoyed watching the NBA as a fan more than I have in years, decades, And I thought, really, you could complain about 3-pointers or complain about the kind of this freedom of movement rules that encourage scoring, high scoring games. I thought I just enjoyed watching it so much last year that I thought, I wouldn't change anything. The one thing I think the NBA needs to address, though, and I think this is something that a lot of the players have said, or at least, during interviews in locker rooms, I've heard it. The way the game is played during the regular season was altered so much during the playoffs. You were allowed defensively to get away with so much more during the playoffs than you were in the regular season. Now, I can see a little bit, you being allowed to grab and hold or whatever a little bit and get away with some stuff in the playoffs, but it was just like an entirely different sport in the playoffs this year.
Yeah,
it was.
So I think that there needs to be a balance, whereas you allow some of that stuff in the regular season and you allow more of that defensive identity to come out. I don't like the rule where you're closing out on shooters, which is a regular defensive play that you're getting penalized. The one thing I don't like, guys, is you look at the NBA, most of the leading scorers are guards, right? And that's because you're not allowed to defend them, or you have to be incredibly careful how you defend at the perimeter, or you're going to get called for a flagrant. I don't like that. I would like to see hand checking brought back above the 3-point line.
Oh, you just took it all the way back.
When the guy gets past the 3-point line, then you got to release. But around the 3-point line, I think it should be okay because there's very little resistance allowed during the regular season around the perimeter. And I think that needs to change. It doesn't have to be all out, hand-to-hand combat.
Right.
But I think if you allow them to strengthen up defense around the 3-point line, not too much, because like I said, I enjoyed watching the games last year. But I think there needs to be a little bit more, rules allowing resistance around the perimeter because, and I think the games would be equally exciting to watch. I mean, I loved watching the Oklahoma City Thunder and Indiana Pacers in the finals. I thought that was great basketball. So, I just think the game's in a very good place because you just signed a $76 billion contract agreement, new media rights. People are tuning in. That Game 7 was the most watched NBA Finals game in 10 years between the Pacers and Thunder. So I think it's in a good place. But, as somebody who loves basketball, we all love the NBA, you always think, maybe there's something that they could do a little bit better. So, and I email Adam Silver. He doesn't usually respond.
He doesn't respond? That's crazy.
If he responds, it's like, stop emailing me. But other than that, they haven't put any of my ideas to use yet.
I got you. Well, Sam, we appreciate you coming on, man. Today we gotta do this more often as the season goes on, man. This is my guy, man, for a long time.
I know why you and Sam are good friends, man. Because did you hear earlier? Did you catch it earlier? He said one person's name in the podcast, in the interview, that speaks to you. He said he didn't call him Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh,
he
Shai
Gilgeous-Alexander.
Always, man.
Did you hear that?
Hey, he probably was a 90s R&B head too, man.
Yeah, he's a 90s R&B head. That's why.
Zane, we've been kindred spirits for a long time.
Man. That's my dog, girl, man. That's my guy. Hey, both of us embrace the villain stuff. You want to call us a villain, whatever, man. But hey, you got respect us in the end of the day, man.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me, and I don't get many requests during the off season, so if you ever need me back, this is my way of marketing myself. I'm always happy to join.
For sure, man, for sure. So, my guy, Sam Amico from hoopswire.com. About to take a break, man. We come back. It's gonna be 3-pointer here on the Anthony Sain Show. See you guys in a minute.
Looking for an alternative to alcohol or conventional medicine? Check out Ounce of Hope, a Memphis-based dispensary with 2 local stores in the Sanderland Center and on South Cooper Street. You can get all the products you need in a location convenient to you. Each store offers an intentional shopping experience with dedicated bud tenders to answer all of your questions, from product selection and mushroom blends to our personal favorite, the Delta 9 seltzers. You gotta try the Peach Buzz. Try Ounce of Hope at either one of their 2 Memphis stores or at www.ounceofhope.com for convenient products shipped right to your door. Use the promo code BluffCity for 15% off any order, excluding sale items. Cannot be used in conjunction with other promotions or discounts. One use per customer. This roster is good enough to win the AAC, obviously.
Yes.
I'm kind of concerned about what their record is going to look like in the non-con. I know that it's necessary to schedule a non-conference schedule like what Penny has to do, like what he does every year now. I'm worried about this year.
Okay, I can see avenues where they can be good, but I can see their weaknesses more apparently than we could last year. I mean, the front court is a clear, glaring weakness for this team, just the lack of depth in the front court. I think back court's going to be fine. I think at the wing, they're probably going to be okay. And I think they have options in the front court. I don't think that it's just 100% fact that they won't be good in the front court. That path to them being a complete team is not as easy to see as it was last year.
Tune into On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Shout out to my guy Sam Amico, man. Long time NBA vet in this journalism game. Hey, he was the pen in the hat.
Yeah.
Journalist, man. He was the the typewriter, the computer, the pod, and whatever. Every form of journalism, he's adapted to it, man. He's still been that dude for a long time, man. It's my guy. I remember when we were Sports Illustrated. I mean, this is my first full-time gig. I'm like, Sam, what you think, man? This y'all looking kind of shaky, bro. Because it was, it wasn't Sports Illustrated, bro. It was like a company bought Sports Illustrated. It was these new guys had all these innovative ideas, and I'm telling you, man, we're gonna work the algorithms, we're gonna work the SEOs, what search engine, SEOs,
optimizations, and all that.
Yeah, we got just the best of the best. And he said, Sam, what you think, man? He said, man, are you worried at all? He said, I said, are you worried about this joint not gonna be here? He said, no, I ain't worried about it. I know it's not gonna be here. But I'm gonna keep cashing these checks. He said, I'm gonna take their money until they run out of it. They ran out of it. So,
you and Sam were the last line of defense before they started doing AI articles and stuff like that.
Right? Man, who you selling, man? Hey, me and Sam will get their bread. Hey, them checks will cash it every first of the month.
That's funny.
Sam was like, man, don't worry about it. If it lasts, it lasts. If it don't, we move on.
That's where that OG status comes from, right?
Man, that's my OG, bro, for real. Like, for real, bro. Like, it's my dog. Like, it's like silent mentor. I don't hit him up much as I used to, but I used to call him, man, all the time just to get wisdom from him. Yeah, that's my dog, man. Sam Amico, OG in this jump for a long time, man. Just like my other OGs in the game, man. My good friends at Trilogy Tattoos. 27. What I said? Trinity? Oh, Trilogy. My bad. Hey. Trilogy Tattoos, my bad, Richard Jarvis, man. Hey, I'm a smoker, bro. Anyway, Trilogy Tattoos, man. 27 years in the game. Yep. Check them out over there on Highland, the best of the best. Award-winning tattoos, award-winning piercings over there at Trilogy Tattoos. Check them out, man. Let them know who sent y'all. I love the relationship with us, man. Rich is my dog. He jumps in the comments all the time. Check him out over there. If you just get your tattoos done, I guarantee you, if you got a tattoo in your body, you either got it done there, you got it done from somebody that came from the long line of the tree of Trilogy Tattoos. Go check them out. One area location, man, out there on Highland. Trilogy Tattoos. Get out there as soon as you can. Kenny Stovefield, it is time for the three-pointer.
Before we do the three-pointer, I got something for you. I want to show you something.
I think I see you got something for me. All right, come on.
30 minutes ago, Nice Kicks dropped some photos, man. I want to show them to you.
Yeah, pull them up.
They dropped some new jaws that are coming out. Jaws in response to the Nike marketing tour that they're going on.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts, man? What do you think?
Hard, man. It sounds hard. They Ja told them to crank it up a little bit.
Kind of the zebra look is what they're called.
The creativity. Yeah, I like that. No, that's the what's the name? That's the scratch, like the
right.
Yeah, with the Grizzly best. I like that, bro. I like that jaw for real. I like the jaw on the side. That's 3 different colors. Yeah, that's like a white and gray and black.
Yeah,
I like that purple joint the best to me though.
Which one? The one at the bottom?
No, the one he showed when he had in his hand.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, them jaws hard though.
Yeah, what I like about them is so you see the EYBL on the tongue up here on the top one. You see NY versus NY. So like he's going to be going on all these different stops on this tour, and these are all they're going to be dropped at certain times on this tour that he's on.
Yeah.
If you look at these, like I'm a big fan of good photography, but like you can clearly tell there's some lights on it that make it look a little bit shinier than what they are.
Mm-hmm.
If you see them just in person, like they have another shot online.
Mm-hmm.
They look super matted, and I like it. I like the way they look. Like they don't look like plasticky. They look very matted, very good, well-made shoes, and they just look better. They look better. But I like them. I think those are dope.
They're getting better. The John shoes getting better and better, bro, for sure. Them Johns, I like the attitude on them, man. They just pop. Like ain't nothing. They kind of got that the Deion Sanders shoe vibe going with them Johns.
The only thing I miss about the Ja ones is that I feel like I could wear the backstrap number 1, but then I feel like I could wear those out. Like I like not just on the hooping, but like I could wear them out. I don't know if I could wear these out. You know what I'm saying? Like that might
the Ja 2 really felt like you could wear them, out whatever, because I wore mine out all the time.
Right.
That shoe right there looks real athletic though. Like
real athletic.
It's a cold little summertime shoe though, man. Old school white tee, you know what I'm saying? Shorts. You know what I'm saying? Old school summertime.
It's when you take these shoes and you add pasty white legs to them that I just don't think that looks great. Like I don't think that looks fantastic. But
hey, when I'm out doing our Memphis Magic Volleyball Institute games, them joints will look good. You know what I'm saying? Rocking my Memphis Magic Volleyball Institute stuff for sure. But it's time for the three-pointer, man. Let's get it going, man. Let's get it going.
Here we go. Let me turn this down. Boom. Here we go. We got let's talk Grizzly Summer League, man.
Let's
1-1.
it, man.
2 games,
Let's get to
1-1. Lost last night on a buzzer beater. Looked like it was a 3-pointer, to be frank, but
Hey,
they called it not. Do we really care when the Grizzlies
it don't
lose
really
in
matter.
Summer
They
League?
play good. GG Jackson looking like that dude. I'm happy to see GG. Cause bro, this is GG's third summer league.
Yeah.
Every year we felt good about what we saw from GG, but this year
Woo!
it looks like it's repeatable. It
Yes.
looks like something that you can actually put into actual game with John him out there, because he's not out there dominating the ball. It's not everybody get out the way and let GG hoop. It's him playing in a system.
Right.
And that's the thing, the biggest complaint I had last year when they were like, oh, let him go to GG and get some reps. I mean, let him go to the G League and get some reps. His reps aren't gonna look like real games. It's not gonna be like be his role when he plays with the team. Just throw him out there and let him figure it out. And I ain't gonna lie, man. The pettiness, I'm down for all that, man.
down for
because
all of it.
he is throwing some little jabs at Taylor Jenkins and company, for sure. This year, I'm down for it. But it is good to see that he does have a relationship with Coach Isolo that's really it's really beneficial for him, man. That he's growing from that, and it's good. I like to see that he's got that thing going with Isolo already. Isolo seems to trust him, and I'm looking for GG to have a part on this team for sure. And I ain't gonna lie, man. In a perfect world, GG Jackson plays well enough where Santi Aldama becomes expendable at the deadline. That's the goal. That would be the ultimate goal if you can move off of Santi, and GG can be your backup power forward on this lineup for sure.
I texted you today privately, and I said, bro, I'm so pissed off at Taylor Jenkins because, and I'll tell you, and I'll explain my reasoning, because you've listened to, like, the pettiness is what it is. You can hate on the petty. You can see, GG, just get over it, right? Like, a lot of the things that happen with GG were things that he can't control, like his injury and things like that. It's just uncontrollable situations. He's also still the youngest guy on the roster by almost like a year and a half, like in his third year in the NBA. But you're hearing him talk, and you're hearing him talk about Isolo, and you're hearing about the way that they communicate with each other. He said last night to Jessica Benson, shout out Jessica Benson, killing it over in Utah right now, covering the summer league. They were doing an interview, and GG said, he said something like, Coach Isolo told me that I am at my most dangerous when I am just going to the basket, downhill, going to the basket. And you're seeing that played out on the court in these last 2 games where he's not. I've seen, I think, and Chip Williams Jr. said it last night, and I think he added like 3 more afterwards. He's had 8 in not even transition dunks this summer league in these 2 games. They're in the flow of the offense, whether it's off offensive rebounds or off set plays, where he's had, offensive dunks like in the flow of the offense. And to me, it's like you hear him talk and you go, the fact that was enlightening to GG, that, hey, you are at your best when you are 2 dribbles to the basket downhill using your athleticism and your size. The fact that it's 3 years in and Taylor Jenkins allowed his silly pettiness around his job, his fear of losing his job or of losing control of his career, of his job with the Memphis Grizzlies, to really, and I don't want to say sabotage, but hinder dudes on this team that could have played a massive role over the last couple of years. GG last year, Zach Edey last year, the levels in which he, like, the fact that he took Ja Morant, one of the most dynamic guards we've ever seen in the NBA, and basically put him in a corner to let Dez control the ball. It drives me crazy, man. And I love what I'm seeing so far out of GG and the rest of these guys.
And the thing is, man, like with Coach Isolo, he's going to have those rookie year moments as a coach. He's going to struggle with challenging calls and all those type of things. And rotations might be a little weird while he's figuring things out. You're going to see a lot of, even late game decisions. So you're going to see a lot of rookie moments with him as your coach. But something you're not going to see is just it's basketball acumen, a lack of basketball acumen. And that's something that Taylor Jenkins definitely had. A lot of finessing, a lot of word salads, like my guy Chris Ingram would say all the time. You're not going to get that from Tomas Isolo. He's a guy who knows the game. He's a guy who can explain the game to GG. He played the game, man. He was not an NBA player, but he played in the Euro Leagues. He had a professional career. He played the game on a very high level. and he's a guy that Gigi would be able to. He can speak Gigi's language, and it's not just kind of in theory. He played the game. He knows the game. He's a basketball savant.
Right.
So I think that that pairing could be very well for Gigi for sure. Number 2, Kenny Sofield, I'm gonna lean to you on this one. The Memphis Tigers adding Baylor to the schedule for a home and home. I'm down for it. I also got some other Tiger news too, man. Somebody's on the staff. I just want to know who got replaced on that whole situation.
Nobody got replaced. They just didn't have that role last year.
Really?
Yeah, it's a kid from Germantown High School, and I got to find his name. Roman Cleary put it out earlier. Let me find it real quick. Played for Dayton, I think. Darryl Brown Jr. He is one of Penny's godsons. And I saw somebody ask, how many godsons does Penny have?
Man.
Quite a lot, honestly. Probably a lot.
If you're one of Penny's godsons, drop it in the comments.
Yeah, if you're a Penny godson, let us know. But he's the new director of player development. He was at Bradley for 2 years doing the same thing after playing at Bradley.
We didn't have a director of player development last year?
Nope.
That sounds crazy, bro.
Yeah, I mean, they also lost 5 staff members with 2 months before the season started. So
what's the name job? Not Moody, the other guy. Penny's guy. I can't think.
I don't know.
I don't even know who I'm talking about. Go ahead though.
Just probably assistant coach is who you're thinking of. But you talking about Jermaine?
No. Is it Travis something? No, what's the dude's name?
I don't know.
Anyway, go ahead, bro.
But no, he's just a great player, man. The great player playing for Bradley. Memphis, when he was in college, Memphis played Bradley. He did well. I don't know why he didn't come to Memphis. He was a fantastic ball player. Just big guard, could shoot the ball really, really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, he's coming on as the director of player development, which is dope. I mean, young kid, didn't make it in the NBA, didn't play overseas, anything like that. Just immediately went and joined his staff at Bradley, and now he's back at Memphis in his hometown, coaching and under the staff of his godfather, Penny Hardaway. So shout out to
let's get on this Baylor thing, man. The home and home joint.
Yeah.
Big time school and Baylor former national champions type shit.
Bro, let me tell you, man, like this roster, this non-conference schedule, man, good God. Like
Penny just be going all in on these.
He has to, right? He has to. But let me just run through this non-conference schedule with you. Purdue, Louisville, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Baylor, the winner of Texas Tech versus Wake Forest, UNLV, Utah State, Vandy, Southern Illinois. I mean, we're talking about stacked, right? Like a non-conference schedule. I expressed it last night. I expressed it this morning on the Bluff, and you'll see Tigers Untapped in a little bit. The 2 Tiger shows that we do, you can check them out. Tuesdays at 12, Tuesdays at 3:30. Man, this team, there's a lot of question marks about this team coming into the season, man. Like revamping the whole roster. Just what's the productivity going to be? Who are the guys that are going to be the guys that are going to be leaned on to do well? There's Doug McDaniel starting point guard and Sincere Parker starting small shooting guard. I don't know, man. I don't know. This Penny is throwing them to the fire, bro, because they're going to probably play Arkansas in an exhibition game. It's going to be an insane non-conference schedule.
Why is that not official yet? The whole Arkansas thing. What's the holdup on it?
I think probably a couple of different things. It might be official. St. Jude just might not be putting it out yet. It's St. Jude's game, so it's the tip-off classic with St. Jude again, like they did last year with North Carolina. But it also Calipari, and if you've watched, check out the My 2 Cents podcast with Penny Hardaway. He did an interview with John Calipari at the latest EYBL event here in Memphis. And John Calipari made it clear, man, like you're going to have to bring every one of my guys that played for me while I was at Memphis back to Memphis to celebrate my guys if I come back in town.
Celebrate me.
Celebrate me.
In front of y'all ass while you made
That's the prerequisite, man.
Hey,
He's made it
do
clear.
it.
Do
it, bro.
Do it.
Do it, bro. Like, yeah. That shit need to happen, bro. For real.
I love it.
Number 3, man. I took the last one off, man, but to get me ready for this one, bro. We gotta do something about Danny Ainge, man.
What's he doing, man? What's he doing?
I don't know,
it's Austin Ainge that's the culprit, right?
Man, and the fact that we ain't calling that shit nepotism is crazy. Like that shit is crazy.
We've spent the past year discussing LeBron and Bronny, right?
Yeah,
but now
we just made his son the GM.
I'm the president of basketball operations for the Utah Jazz.
And I heard the man talking last night. He wasn't talking about shit. I said, bro, get this dude out of here.
Nothing. Did you hear him on the Summer League? Man.
Yeah, bro, get this dude out of here, man. But man, this is all I gotta say, man. When I asked Sam Amico, like, what would he change about the league? Like, I understand, like, my team is ass, so let's just be a little bit more asser to tank. But like, when you have a competent roster, bro, and you just like doing fuck shit and like giving dudes away and like, nah, bro, that stuff.
Benching Laurie Markkinen for like the last half of the game, every game. Like,
that man ain't played an important game of basketball in his career, bro. Like, for real. Like, that team comes out and they're competitive, and he just pulls the plug. Like, in the first month of the season, it happens every time. Like, that's not. And for what, bro? Your rookies are ragtag as hell. You begin like he got Ace Baylor, who's a dog.
That kid's gonna be good.
All the other dudes he been getting, man, been like Isaiah Collier, blockhead ass.
That dude, that Emmanuel Hudson looking ass,
garbage,
like that
man,
dude,
garbage.
Garbage.
Like, so what are you taking for, bro? Like you
don't. The ball is gonna be your starting two guard. Come on,
yeah, he's good. I mean, he was hooping last night, but what I'm saying, bro, is just. That tanking stuff is just too egregious, bro. And like, and you a clown if you think the league gonna let you get the first overall pick anyway, bro. They gon' stay bumping you down, bro.
It's the truth. Man. That team, the Utah team that they played last night, literally 4 of those dudes were their starters.
Yeah, but they had, which is also crazy. Them folks had what's the name playing Summer League last year. They had Walker Kessler was playing. Man, that dude, man, get that dude out of here, bro. Hey, it take Connor Dunning to talk about Danny Ainge, though, for sure.
Let me ask you this: do you think they talked about this on the $2 show yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Lauri Markkinen being a potential target for the Grizzlies.
Yes.
Drew brought it up, and he said, "I get concerned about bringing dudes over who are institutionalized losers, basically."
No, you don't. People, that's the biggest bullshit. People always say, like, guys are losers. There are so many dudes. I'm really surprised he would say that about him, of all people. But there are so many dudes, bro, that like come from bad teams, and they go to other teams and they're a good fit. But their role also changes. You know what I mean?
Look at Denny Avdia at Portland.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly, bro. Like if that dude goes to a good team, he's gonna be good.
Right.
Luka was a really good player on a bad team for about 3 years, and now he ain't. You know what I mean? Like I get that logic. Like guys are like losers or whatever, but I just think people are just hella selective about who they say that about.
It's super egregious what Utah is doing, though. I agree with you.
Yeah, that shit is trash, bro.
It's egregious.
They just ruined it, man. And like you said, it's ruining that man's perception, bro. It's ruining. Yes. Yeah. It makes you think that Lauri Markkinen is ass because what they're doing.
But if you watched any Utah games last year, they were super, super competitive in the first half or even in the first half of the third quarter.
Yep.
And then they just pulled the plug and said, no more.
That shit is crazy.
Crazy.
Egregious tanking. And I'll even give you 1 year to do the nasty tanking because we did it when we started getting guys hurt. We were resting guys that probably could have played. And, if we played good in a certain game, we'll pull the plug on the game. But doing that shit for years on top of years, bro, like they've been doing, and you still ain't got nothing to show for it but Ace Bailey, who might be a dog. I don't know what he's going to end up being in the league. I think he's a good player. But, bro, you've done all this damn tanking
just for Ace.
You got a team full of scrubs. And it's just wild.
Dude, if Isaiah Collier is their starting point guard in the season, that is a travesty to NBA.
What happened to the other dude, man? There was
Keontae George.
Yeah, what happened to this look?
I think they're saying he might be the starting 2, so it might be a Isaiah Collier, Keontae George. But Keontae George is a blowtorch. Like that man shoots the ball 100 times a game. He averages a lot of points, but it's because he takes 100 shots a game to get it. So
man, but being a big head dude, looking at Isaiah Collier head, I'm like, oh shit! Like I got room to talk about your head. That man, neck big and his head a block. That man got a true blockhead ass dude, man.
I'm telling you, I am. That dude is someone needs to talk to Emmanuel Hudson's mom and dad, man, because that dude that clear up some stuff, man. Because they might have been like separated at birth, bro. Like they are.
Emmanuel Hudson. Hey, bro. Hey, when you work with kids and you work with you stuff, like the stuff to be in our memories, bro. Like the name recognition. When you say Emmanuel Hudson, you might as well have said Eddie Murphy or somebody, bro. You might as well have said like I don't know, bro. Like,
why you asking all them questions?
You might as well have said whoever, Cat Williams or whoever, Dave Chappelle. Like he's that level of dude. That wrong when that dude came out working with kids. Oh,
crazy.
Man, you would have thought, yeah, whoever, bro, for sure. Denzel Washington or somebody. Same dude. But yeah, man, we're gonna take a break. Man, we come back. It's gonna be a very, very interesting special edition of Inside the Same Brain.
I'm nervous about this one.
I know they're gonna be on your ass in the comments more than likely. We're just gonna let you know. But I got you, bro. I got you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
But it's gonna be a good one. We'll talk about that when we come back to the Answer the Same show. See you guys in a minute.
Looking for an alternative to alcohol or conventional medicine? Check out Ounce of Hope, a Memphis-based dispensary with 2 local stores in the Sanderlin Center and on South Cooper Street. You can get all the products you need in a location convenient to you. Each store offers an intentional shopping experience with dedicated bud tenders to answer all of your questions, from product selection and mushroom blends to our personal favorite, the Delta 9 seltzers. You gotta try the Peach Buzz. Try Ounce of Hope at either one of their 2 Memphis stores or at www.ounceofhope.com for convenient products shipped right to your door. Use the promo code BluffCity for 15% off any order, excluding sale items. Cannot be used in conjunction with other promotions or discounts. One use per customer.
Joey freaking Chestnut threw back 70 and a half dogs in 10 minutes.
Is it impressive that he eats it that quick? Do you think that's the impressive part, or is it the stamina?
Yes.
The amount, it's the 71 in 10 minutes.
I think it's both.
It's probably both. I mean, I think you could get a hot dog down pretty quick if it's just one.
100%. I could throw a hot dog down so fast.
Hot dogs.
Okay, this is the stuff we need to have. This is what we need to film, not me eating 71 hot dogs. It's timing how long Kenneth is going to take to eat a damn hot dog.
Should we all have one hot dog next week ready to go, and we each one of us take
100%.
and we time how fast we all get it done?
100%. I'll do it. I will absolutely do that.
I'll have to go to the store and buy the stuff. Can I put mustard on it? It's just the principle.
You can dress it however
you can do
like.
whatever you want to your fault, to your error if you do it.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Final segment of the show. We call this Inside the Same Brain, where we talk about something that's on the brother's mind. Kenneth Stubblefield, I got a text from you a couple of days ago, man. I want to say it might have been on the 4th, man. Something like
Was
that.
it might have been a glaucoma-induced text.
I think you texted me late as hell too, bro. I think, if I ain't mistaken too. I think it was like 10 o'clock or something like that. I was like, what's up, my guy, mine, man? So you started getting your shit off, and you basically said you had questions about Sinners, because hey, this man had put it down. I was trying to softball you, bro. But hell, the man said he thinks Sinners is overrated.
That's the question. Is Sinners overrated?
No. That
you have been talking about how this is the perfect movie.
That movie's freaking perfect, bro. That's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. I don't rewatch movies often at all. Right. There aren't many modern era movies that I rewatch like at all. And I'm a big Marvel fan all the time. I don't watch that shit more than twice. Endgame. What was the other one? I don't watch that shit more than I don't watch that.
You didn't watch Endgame more than once?
No. Watch none of that shit more
Stop
than one.
it. That movie's
watch
so
none of that shit more than
fire.
Black Panther, I might have seen twice. Blade, I've seen Blade over and over again.
Yeah.
I do watch this shit over and over again. I'll watch this shit.
Is there a movie that comes on that you're like, this? I watched it. If it's on TV,
Life.
Life.
Easy answer. Life. Yeah.
100%.
Life. Come on right now. Watching this shit right now.
Yeah.
And I'm a word for word that whole like for real. Yeah.
I'm the pappy.
So I guess I'll explain why I like it so much, and then you tell me issues you had, and then we'll. No, tell me what you thought about it. And
I'll just say this.
Yeah.
Off the rip, one of the most beautifully shot movies I've ever
100%. Yeah.
Dude, their DP, whoever the DP
hold on,
is.
let me stop you. If you've only seen Sinners on some bootleg ass version, fuck out of here. Cause that shit, I watched that shit at my brother's house. That shit ain't the same. Like that shit ain't the same, bro. Like I'm telling you.
I saw it on this.
Man, that's how you saw that shit? You didn't even watch it on a full TV?
Nah.
Fuck out of here, bro. All right, come on, man. How had you got HBO Max, bro?
I just was I was laying down, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, okay, but go ahead, bro. This man watching shit on a 3-inch screen.
I had really good headphones in, so I could hear everything.
I understand what you're saying. All right, go ahead. All right, come on. And you were hiding them of it. But go ahead.
Okay, that's a good point. Super, I mean, just unbelievably shot, beautifully shot movie.
Mm-hmm.
The director of photography, Ryan Coogler, who the producer or the director, phenomenal. My question to you is this: like, do you ever feel like that sometimes, like, they're just doing just a bit too much with the storyline? Like, just too many things they're trying to fit in and pack into one movie to like make it seem deeper than what it is, but it's not. Like, they don't do a good job of like telling why okay, help me understand the scene when they brought in because if I don't even know if Preacher Boy's voice was real. If that bro,
hey, let me say this: the hype behind that dude is kind of crud. Because I'm like, bro, that dude singing or talking voice ain't tight to me.
That's
like,
not his. You didn't like his singing voice?
That's him, but folks was like, "Oh, dude, cold." Like, he just sound weird, bro. Like, it don't sound good to me. Like, I will say that dude. Like, I would not go listen to that dude's music. Like, nothing that he did.
Are you crazy?
In that film makes you want to go listen to his music. No,
Preacher Boy can sing, man. That man can sing. If that's his.
He sounded like if Shine started singing. Like Shine, who want to fuck with us? But the us
like, I just wish they had stuck with. They started the movie off talking about music being like these certain people gifted with music that like transcends like everything, like telling stories. But then they bring it. So then Preacher Boy's a part of it. They bring him in and he's got the guitar and he's holding this guitar. And it's this extra special guitar, and nobody knows where the guitar came from. And then they has the scene in there, which was just a dope scene, I think, with like him starting to
music
sing,
history,
the music history. But then they started bringing
Black music history, which is also synonymous with music history. Anyway, go ahead.
Right.
I'm not gonna pull hairs. I'm not gonna whatever they say.
Split hairs. Here,
I ain't gonna split hairs over there. All right, go ahead.
But what was the point of that? Like, what it didn't like. It was like Ryan Coogler had this idea of like, I want to tell like this music back in the day with during Jim Crow era was just like it told stories and like all this, but then it's like Preacher Boy had that moment. They brought in all these like they had like the silhouettes of all these, and you could tell who the artists were as they were bringing them out. Like they had this random electric guitar player up there like that.
Supposed to be like Jimi Hendrix.
And then it just dropped. Like they didn't talk about it the rest of the time. Right? Like what was the point of it? Like it just felt like it was like
that's like a layup, kid. That's easy to
Ryan Coogler threw a bunch of stuff at the wall and said, let me see what's gonna stick and let me just kind of bring all this together and then let it drop.
But he also admitted that too, that this movie was a hodgepodge of genres that he wasn't trying to fit into no particular thing. But
dude, this is such a good point. And maybe this is the whole point. It felt a little bit rushed. A lot of the movie leaned into if you know, you know. And maybe I don't know. Like maybe I don't know. Maybe like, I don't know.
The that part you're saying is a layup though, about the music part, because what they were saying was that basically Sammy was so good at what he was doing music wise, not just being talented, but being soulful and making music that could touch your soul, that he was digging into that spiritual realm. And that's what brought the vampires there. Like the vampires were around because of Sam. They were drawn to Sammy. Like he wanted Sammy's gift.
The guy said that, right? Like the main vampire said that. He said,
Sammy,
I came here for you, basically, is what he said. I heard your voice and it drew me to you.
Right. So and when they had the first night at the juke joint and he was really playing, they showed you the depth of how deep into the spirit he could go. So good to the point where he created a hodgepodge of realms of music, past, present, and future. He put my guy Future, the rap, the Joker from Memphis, had him right. You know what I mean? Like he went into the future, the past, and the present. He had Asian culture, music, all type of stuff he pulled into the room because he was that deep in his bag as far as being talented music wise and into the spirit realm, so to speak, with his ability. So that part is pretty much a layup. Did I explain that?
I guess I just never felt like I understood Preacher Boy's, like it felt like he was low key the crux of the entire movie.
He was, yeah.
But I never really understood why, outside of the fact that he could play music. But it was like
they wanted, you know, he was the vampires were a hive mind. Like if he got one of you, he got all your memories, all your thoughts, all your abilities.
Right.
So once if he could get Preacher Boy to get bit, he would be able to, because he could play music too. But his music, he was talented, but his music couldn't go off into the realms the Preacher Boy did, because he said, I want to bring bring memories back. People who are dead, I want to be able to see them again. And that's what he was saying, with that music, I can do that.
Let me ask you this.
Your music is a lot better than mine.
And this is me and you talking through it. You I said, let's talk about it on the podcast. I don't want to me and you have this private.
Nah.
It feels like to me they kind of rushed into the vampire portion of it because it kind of fulfilled two purposes. It was a horror movie, which is kind of like when you see
that shit wasn't a horror movie.
Like but it kind of scratched that surface, like that itch of like, people love horror movies, but it was a black horror film, like that was dope, like that. I like that part of it, but it feels like to me what the underlying theme of Sinners is that
black people are amazing as shit,
and
is what
white vampires will literally suck the blood, suck the talent, suck the inspiration of black musicians and black artists.
It told a lot of stories, and these are some of the things. I'll just highlight things about the movie that stood out to me. Number one, like I said, that movie made black people look amazing, in my opinion. Visually, like the optics, how they presented, the lighting, all the makeup, the wardrobe made us look incredible. Like the particular color of red in the hat, or the particular color of blue.
Smoke and Stack looked awesome.
All the boys looked incredible, right?
Yeah.
But those type of things that we aesthetically looked amazing,
right? And
it showed how, like I said, non-jokingly, that musical history and black musical history are synonymous. Like we've had our hands in this genre they don't want us to touch, right? This Beyonce and country music. Country music has roots in black music, rock and roll,
blues. It's a Mississippi blues,
all these things, right? Yeah. And that part was amazing. It's just showing how all throughout history we've had our hands on so many things musically and creatively. I remember Kev on stage was saying this. He was like, even though it's black people in America who you know, some of us came over here through slavery, and some of our ancestors got, you know, were slaves, whatever, that a lot of us don't know our heritage, but the music has always connected us, right?
Right.
We can go to Africa right now and a beat can drop and we all can, you know, jump right into it. That part was amazing. The fact that this movie was asked the question, what would it be like if you introduce vampires to people who've never heard of vampires before? Like, we're talking about Jim Crow era America.
And all of a sudden they got all their talent.
And the concept of vampires, like what the hell do you mean by what is a vampire? Like, that whole concept was crazy. Like, to see how that would happen in that time. And another important theme in the movie is they were in a time where the mistreatment of black people was so crazy that the concept of let me turn into a vampire felt like an appealing thing. Like that shit kind of sound dope compared to, because he said, man, y'all will never be treated fairly. Y'all will never be treated the way that y'all should be. But if you're one of us, we're all the same. Like we are the superior race at that point. If you become a vampire. And something else that movie pointed at, I can't remember where I saw this, but I saw this a couple of days ago, and it immediately made me think about Sinners. In America, we paint integration as this thing where black people were done a favor. Like, hey, welcome to the party. Like, come join the dope white people stuff. Like, come be a part of America. Come. Hey, you guys are welcome to join us now. But we were doing fine before integration. Like, we had our own shit going on, man. We had our own towns, communities, schools, businesses. Like, we were fine. Like, we had this thing figured out.
Whole banking systems, everything. Like,
exactly, bro.
The economic systems were flourishing, right?
And that movie showed that, like, black people found a way to exist without being invited to the party. Yeah. And when we were invited to the party, it may have done more harm than good.
Well, you get invited to the party. You get invited to the party. And there's just, if you want to call it culture vultures, if you want to call
vampires
it
are there.
Culture vampires, right? Culture vampires, right?
Like, I get it. Take your whole gift for music. Just take it. Yeah.
Just take it.
Yeah.
You hear about like the way that the Mississippi Delta blues started came from like those slavery, Jim Crow time, those eras where it talks about the struggle, right? The struggle and the those kind of things. When it became integrated and other cultures started doing blues music, they started talking about their own struggle, and it was different. Like, it's a totally different kind of struggle, right? Anyway,
because like another thing too, man, you got to think about in that movie that stood out to me is that it shows you that the Irish people had white facing people had their own internal racism or just persecution that was going on. And he talked about how that guy was a musician. He's like, I was a musician, and I understand the spiritual realm of all this, and that we went through our thing as well, and with the Choctaw Indians and all that stuff. It got into a lot of the historical stuff, and that movie was not an anti-white people movie. It wasn't at all.
No,
but it was
a celebration. It was a celebration.
Yeah, it was it made black people look freaking amazing. Literally, it got into some of the spirituality things and the practices of black magic and voodoo, hoodoo, all those type of things. People have their opinions on those. I have my own opinion on that type of stuff. I don't really want to get into it now, but I wasn't offended by any of that type of stuff at all. And it just kind of shows you that as black people, man, we just had ways we went about doing things throughout time, and like the issues with the white lady that I had no clue had a drop of black in her. Didn't even know she was an adult, actually. Josh Allen's wife. Like,
Mary?
That whole thing. Yeah, Mary. The whole thing of, I'm a white woman who's got, I'm 1/8 black. I'm 1/8 black or whatever. But my mother raised y'all black ass as her kids because y'all's mama died, and my mama like literally nursed y'all from her breast. Y'all was getting my breast milk, and my mama nursed y'all and raised y'all as her own kids.
Right.
And y'all grew up to be these big gangster thugs, but y'all mama was a white woman for all intents and purposes. You know what I mean? And you had that whole thing going on, right? And then you had the brother that was married to the black lady. Yeah. And they had real trauma. They had a child that passed away, and that trauma caused them to not know how to process those emotions. And he went on to do his thing with organized crime and all that. Right. And you just think historically, every race was able to benefit from organized crime except for black people. They shut our shit down.
So was it Annie and Stack or was it Annie and Smoke?
It was Annie and Smoke were together. Stack, it was Annie Stack and the white girl.
So Annie and Smoke they were like married and they had a baby.
Whatever the equivalent of marriage was.
They were together.
Yeah.
Wow. I loved Annie. I thought Annie was
she's awesome in every movie.
She was so cool, man. No, E. Mason says, he goes, let me find it. He said, I missed the entire boy. I totally agree. Like right.
If you didn't get that, kid, you missed it for real.
No, 100%. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation because like,
right.
I love Ryan Coogler. I love Michael B. Jordan. I love that movie. Like, I think the movie shot was beautiful.
Right.
I just didn't understand all of the
right.
the storylines that were trying to be brought in. And I wanted to have this conversation with you because I'm like, I want to understand because it was such a beautifully done movie, right?
And another thing that was introduced in that movie that was talked about in that movie was the misconception of especially in the black community, in the church community as well, is if you're a church musician, you don't need to be doing music in the world. And his dad said, you got to make a choice and all this type of stuff. He was like, no, I don't really have to make a choice, man. I'm a good person. God is with me. God was with me when I defeated these fucking vampires. You know what I mean? So and people like, and there are Christians who say, well, when he mocked Jesus, like, you know, he started giving the Lord's Prayer and you know, the devil know the word too. And he repeated it and it didn't do nothing to him. But like he ended up killing him. Like he ended up dying like shortly after that. You know what I mean?
So Stack and Mary, what was the point of the end? Like they stayed alive. They were vampires, obviously. What, like, how did they turn from like being in that moment immediately the night of, like, wanting to attack kill everybody, you know, bring everybody to their side.
Right.
It felt like they were being sent out at the end of the movie, kind of that they had been on a mission the entire time. Had they been protecting Preacher Boy the entire time while he was alive?
That's another part of the movie I thought was super dope, was his take on vampires. We've always been built to believe that vampirism comes with an innate desire to be evil and kill people, right?
Right.
And he was saying that vampirism, it comes with these abilities and the hunger. It didn't even really say that they even needed blood to survive, like they had to kill to survive. But with the hive mind thing, once that guy, the Irish guy, died, at that point, the white lady is the head vampire.
Oh, so okay. So once the Irish guy died, the Irish vampire died.
They were saying that was his own hurt. That was his own particular hurt and pain that was driving him to look at his ability, use his ability the way he was using it.
E. Mason said this. He wasn't white. He was Irish. That's an important caveat. He was also oppressed by whites. He chose assimilation over oppression. So that's part of his pain, right? Like
but because of his pain, he went about things with the hand that he went about it with.
Right.
But those two, like, that's not our fight, bro. Like we have this ability, and it's a punishment to us. But we're not out here trying to kill people. I don't know if they even trying to turn people. I don't know if any of that happened. You know what I mean? Because they told us the name, bro. If you want to live,
if you want to, we could do this right now, right?
We ain't finna sit. You invited us in and everything, but we ain't finna attack your ass. You know what I mean? And and they made that promise as well. But I thought that part of it was super dope. It showed that the what you do with the powers is you do have some will over. You're not this natural killing machine just because you suffer from the oppression of vampirism. But I thought the dopest part of the movie was that typically when you see a movie that takes place in that era, you leave out angry, you leave out mad, you leave out sad. Like, man, we was fucked off back then. We really did treat us like shit, and they did. We saw that. But when that movie ended, I felt proud to be a black man. I felt excited about being black. Like, I think the way that he presented that, especially in that era of time, and the scene at the end, man, which had nothing to do with nothing, because I guarantee you they didn't have guns of that ability. And I doubt that anybody who fought in any war was that cold with the guns and shit, and Smoke was. But to see Smoke, I'm going to tell you a part you didn't pick up. Julia pointed this out. You saw Smoke was shaky at the end, right?
Yeah.
And he couldn't roll a cigarette.
Right.
Julia pointed this out. In the movie, Smoke was the smoker, but Stack was the roller. Whenever they smoked, Stack would always roll the cigarettes
and then
pass it to his brother.
Yeah.
So he probably rolled all his cigarettes. Like my brother, every time he get a new device, I got to go to my brother's house to show him how to go hook up his fucking TV or whatever, right? And that's what Stack did. He was the roller, and Smoke and he would roll for his brother. So when his brother was there, like, shit, I don't even know what to do. Like, he was struggling with that whole part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at that end scene that had nothing to do with nothing, really. That end scene, and they made sure it happened in daylight where you could just see all the details. Where he sat there and said, "I'm about to kill every last one of y'all," and he did, and he took his final breath and was reunited with his family.
Beautiful.
It ended so well. The movie it touched in so many genres. It was all over the place, but it was a beautiful hodgepodge of just thinking points in the movie, and I thought it was very well done. That is the only movie that I would watch over and over again. The last one was Get Out. Get Out was the last movie that I'll sit up and just watch over and over again. Another movie that was a kind of a hodgepodge of genres, and was not as what it presented. But
last thing, it wasn't. I needed help understanding all of the storylines that were being brought in.
Yep.
It was such a good movie. I watched it. Here's what I promise you. I'm going to watch it again, and I'm going to watch it on a TV instead of
man, the fact that you watch it on the phone, bro, I really didn't want to have this conversation with you, bro, for real. But the fact, go watch it like an adult, bro, on the 80-inch. I know you got an 80-inch TV in there.
Yeah.
Go watch it on the big boy, man, for real.
That's funny.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Anyway.
But yeah, man, it was a good one for
Shout
sure. Shout out to you, man, for bringing it to the table, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't inviting your ass to no cookouts and nothing. But we can have these type of discussions, man.
Hey, listen, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah, for sure. You had your own cookouts, guys. Yeah. But that was a good one, man. Shout out to our guy Sam Amico again.
Yeah.
Another great show. Got another one planned for y'all tomorrow, man. We got to finalize that. Make sure that goes down the way that we plan for that one to happen. For Kenny Stubblefield, this is Anthony Sain. We'll see y'all tomorrow, man, and we out.
Thank you for listening to the Anthony Sain Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.